sa ating mga kababayan. Dahil ito ay continuing efforts. At saka alam naman natin, itong transitional shelter site ay transitional, temporary lamang. Ngunit bibigyan pa rin natin sila ng sense of community dito sa transitional shelter site. So nagpaplanong maglagay dyan ng marketplace, maaaring maglagay din dyan ng eskwelahan at health center or medical center. Maaaring maglagay din dyan ng eskwelahan at health center or medical center. So lahat ng ito ay pinag-aaralan. No? Dahil maski pagbalik nila, kasi dun sa mga cleared barangays, maaari ng pag napagdesisyonan na ng local government in conjunction or in coordination with the task force na pwede nang bumalik ang ating mga IDP sa cleared barangay, siyempre bibigyan na natin sila ng basic and vital social services. So kasama ito doon. Kasama yung paglalagay ng appropriate livelihood interventions at appropriate health and educational interventions as well.
Okay, Rose Novenario.
Ay, may nakalimutan ako, sir. Sir, kahapon nagbigay po ng ultimatum si Colonel Romeo Browner sa sa mga maute na mag-surrender or baka may masamang mangyari sa kanila hanggang kaninang hating gabi. Ano na po yung balita natin dito? Dahil isang building na lang daw po yung occupied ng terrorists at lahat daw po ng hostages ay na-rescue na.
Wala tayong specific information tungkol dyan. No? Ngunit inaasahan natin na pag-cleared na ng mga maute itong battle area, no, ay makapagpo-proceed na tayo ng tuloy-tuloy dito sa ating post-conflict needs assessment. So we're just coordinating with our AFP, with our armed forces, para malaman natin kung pwede na tayong pumasok sa iba pang areas ng Marawi City.
Wala pa pong signal na pwede na kayong pumasok?
Wala pa akong nakuhang informasyon as of now on that.
Thank you.
Question, MPC? Pia Gutierrez.
Sir, recently the Department of Education has said na parang kailangan ng around 4 billion pesos to rebuild yung mga damaged educational centers or schools in Marawi. May iba pa po bang department na nagbigay na ng kanilang mga estimates, sir?
Meron ng mga estimates. In fact, meron ng estimates initially for the 5 billion that would be spent until the end of the year. And I'm sure that the departments and the other agencies that are part of the task force ay nagbibigay na rin ng estimates for next year, no? For the rebuilding phase next year. At hindi ko lang sigurado kung ano yung specific requests ng mga iba't ibang departments. Ngunit yan ay pag-uusapan kasama sa pag-uusapan sa Finance and Resource Mobilization Support Group. At baka pinag-uusapan na nila yon ngayon as they are meeting right now.
Wala pa pong nagbigay ng figures, sir?
Meron na. Marami kasing figures na binibigay. Hindi lang natin alam kung saan siya ilalamp. Whether sa 5 billion this year or sa 10 billion next year.
But for the 5 billion, sir, na allotted for this year, ano yung priority natin, sir, na pagkakagastusan?
Ang priority dyan ay yung patuloy nating pagbibigay ng relief sa ating IDPs. No? I think as proposed, a big chunk of the 5 billion allotted this year will still be for the relief efforts. For the relief efforts until the end of the year.
So nothing permanent, sir?
Well,
for the 5 billion.
Nothing permanent in the sense that we're still in the phase that we're building the transitory shelters and that we're still giving recovery interventions for our IDPs. Pero patungo na tayo doon kasi yung permanency naman na tinatawag natin, yan ay mangyayari kapag na-determine na yung talagang pangangailangan sa Marawi after ng post-conflict needs assessment at kapag nagawa na yung Comprehensive Rehabilitation and Recovery Program, yung CRRP.
Sir, last na lang po. Can you give us an idea bakit ganun kalaki po yung ginagastos natin for relief efforts and gaano katagal tayo magbibigay ng, until when will we be giving relief to our IDPs?
Well, in terms of until when, hanggat kailangan nila, magbibigay tayo dyan. Siyempre, it will shift one way or another pag meron ng mga IDPs na nailipat na sa transitory shelter sites. So baka ibang form of relief na yung ibibigay natin sa kanila. Ngunit yung mga nasa evacuation centers at yung home-based, siyempre hanggat merong nangangailangan dyan, ipoprovide natin, ibibigay natin yung mga relief na kailangan nila. At dahil as of last count, we have 72,000 or so families and 359,000 individuals spread out, no, in evacuation centers and home base. So malaking requirement talaga ito in terms of relief efforts. At patuloy natin itong binibigay sa kanila.
Jopel, then Ace Romero.
Sir, banggit nyo yung 5 billion gagamitin for the end of December. So ibig sabihin, sir, tatapusin din po yung transitional shelters within December?
Yung matatapos, ang sa pagkakaalam ko, ang target ng ating National Housing Authority ay magtayo ng 1,100, at least 1,100 transitional shelters within the year. Yun ang target nila dun sa unang plano. Of course, this is subject to evaluation, this is subject to revisions, no, as needed. Dahil ngayon, minamadali na at tinatapos na ng DPWH yung site development ng lahat ng transitional shelter sites. Yung 6 areas dyan sa transitional shelter sites. At pagkatapos nun, itatayo na yung ating transitional shelters. At may tinatayo na namang transitional shelters ngayon. At tuloy-tuloy yan until the end of the year. But I think the goal is to have at least 1,100 transitional shelters by the end of the year.
So ibig sabihin, sir, mga January may makakalipat na sa transitional
Yes, and depending on the recommendations, kung meron ng certain areas na tapos na, pwede nang maglipat kahit unti-unti, kahit hindi sabay-sabay dun sa 1,100.
Okay, Ace Romero.
ASEC Purisima, can you give us information about foreign groups that pledged donation to the Marawi efforts?
This is being compiled by our Finance and Resource Mobilization Support Group, and we will release the list kapag na-compile na ito. Ngunit meron naman tayong mga foreign countries na nagbigay na, such as...
Ilang example lang.
I do not recall the exact number at mahirap magbigay. Baka magtampo yung mga nagbigay at hindi ko nasama sa bilang. No?
But sabihin na lang natin na include.
Well, it includes, from what I remember, for example, Thailand gave, India gave, and other countries na nagbigay ng mga nung nauna pa, no? Including China. China also gave donations for that. No?
So nag-pledge tong mga to, ASEC?
Well, in terms of pledges and in terms of actual donations, no, I'll leave it to the Finance and Resource Management Subcommittee to release that.
Okay. So yung European countries, did they even offer?
In terms of the offer, wala akong information dyan. Baka sa ibang diretso sila sa mga agencies nag-offer. So wala akong informasyon dyan.
Okay. Thank you, ASEC.
Okay, Joseph.
So you mentioned rebuilding phase will start next year?
Well, in terms, next year, dahil this year, syempre may clearing tayo. Ang focus natin yung transitional shelters at tapusin yung PCNA at yung CRRP, Comprehensive Rehab and Recovery Plan. No? And then, kasi next year that would require funding. So syempre kung may maiwan dun sa 5 billion na pwede ng pagsimula ng rebuilding, gagawin na natin yon. Ngunit kung nakalaan na itong 5 billion na ito for the initial proposals of certain government agencies na hindi pa yung actual rebuilding, next year na yung rebuilding, pagpasok na yung funds for rebuilding next year.
You're talking about the 10
The 10 billion proposed for next year from the NDRRM fund.
Sir, anong items yung 5B?
Yung items ng 5B, from what I remember, DSWD for continuous relief efforts. At kasama na rin dito yung NHA, yung pagtatayo ng transitional shelters. Kasama yan dun sa 5B.
Sir, anong assurance na this will not go the way of Yolanda rehab plans?
Well, very transparent ang goal natin at lahat ng ating efforts ay ina-announce natin at madodouble check nyo ito in terms of the progress of our projects. At the Finance and Resource Mobilization Support Group will be releasing updates on that. So it will be very transparent at malalaman nyo ito.
Do we have enough? Ay, wala pa yung dala mo kasi October 27 yung sabi niya, sir, before.
Yes, the dala of the initial barangays that are being assessed now. Ang goal is to have it by this week, no? October 27. So, syempre, tatapusin pa yan. Initial findings yan, no? Initial findings at ibabangga natin yan with the findings for the remaining barangays of Marawi. So, pero bibigyan ko kayo ng update once meron na tayong initial report on the DALA by October 27 or by next week at the latest.
Just to fine-tune your data on the foreign governments, those governments who have pledged to support the rebuilding, we're counting out yung let's put the demarcation line. So sa rebuilding, sino yung mga countries who have pledged support for the rebuilding?
I will just wait for the financial resource. There are. I understand there are pledges, but I do not have accurate information on that. So we will request the Finance and Resource Mobilization Support Group to release the data on that.
This is government to government or their government, foreign government to their aid agencies. Kasi sa Yolanda ganun, di ba? Hindi naman siya, kung ba Russia to the Philippines, may mga ginagamitan na aid
I think
agencies.
both avenues are possible, and I think both avenues can be explored for the rehabilitation, ibig sabihin G2G or through aid agencies. So we'll release the appropriate information.
If there are European countries who will pledge support for the rehab, will you accept?
Well, the task force would have to make a decision on that in light of the pronouncement of our president.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Oh, Jopel?
Sir, yung sa transitional shelters, pala-ulit ako doon. If ever, sir, na ma-distribute po ito sa mga bakwit, ano po ito? Babayaran o government ang aako? Babayaran ba ito ng mga bakwit?
Ang hindi ito babayaran, no. Ito ay tinatayo ngayon ng ating NHA in coordination with our HUD-C, no. At ito ay may budget from the government. So ito ay ibibigay sa kanila. Kasi transitional lang naman ito dahil the end goal, and this would depend on the strategic plan moving forward. Siyempre ibabalik pa rin sila sa Marawi.
Okay, thank you, Jopel. MPC, no more question? Ms. Gina Ocson?
Thank you. I will just read the statement from Presidential Spokesperson Abelia on the Drug Rehabilitation Partnership Agreement by the Diocese of Novaliches, Quezon City, and the Philippine National Police. The Drug Rehabilitation Partnership Agreement signed by the Diocese of Novaliches, Quezon City government and the Philippine National Police for a community-based drug rehabilitation program in the Batasan area is a commendable move to proactively help the national government in the anti-illegal drug campaign. It is hoped that this kind of partnership can be replicated by the PNP and other offices involved in the comprehensive anti-illegal drugs campaign with other dioceses, as well as other churches and church groups in the country. This kind of collaboration between the government and the church is what our people expect. As indicated by a recent survey,
Inyo pong napanood ang Malacañang Hour kung saan in-address ni ASEC Christopher James Purisima ng Office of Civil Defense ang media at binanggit na nga niya ang patuloy na koordinasyon ng national at local government sa Marawi kung saan binanggit ang 5 billion pesos na estimated budget para sa rebuilding phase na kasama na dyan ang pagbalangkas at pagbuo ng mga palengke at paaralan sa nasirang lugar. Malaking bahagi daw ng pondo ay para sa relief efforts. 1,100 transitional shelters ang planong itayo ng National Housing Authority o NHA bago magtapos ang 2017 na ipamimigay ng libre sa mga bakwit. Magsisimula din ang full rebuilding phase sa 2018 na may proposed budget naman na 10 billion pesos. Patuloy pa din ang pagpasok ng foreign financial aid at pledges para sa pagbangon ng Marawi. Magiging transparent din ang pamahalaan pagdating sa mga pondong papasok para maiwasan ang anomalyang nangyari noon matapos tumama ang bagyong Yolanda. Kinomend din ng Diocese of Novaliches ang proactive approach sa drug rehabilitation program ng AFP.